Nestled in the heart of the Alsatian wine country, enclosed within a double ring of medieval ramparts and surrounded by a sea of meticulously tended vines, lies the village of Riquewihr. It is a place that seems to have been plucked directly from the pages of a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, a perfectly preserved jewel box of a town that has captivated visitors for centuries. To pass through its gates is to feel an immediate and profound sense of dislocation in time. The modern world, with its noise and haste, seems to dissolve, replaced by a labyrinth of cobblestone streets, a vibrant procession of half-timbered houses painted in hues of ochre, rose, and cornflower blue, and the gentle, pervasive scent of wine that seems to emanate from the very stones themselves. Riquewihr is often cited as the most beautiful village in Alsace, and arguably in all of France. Its astonishing state of preservation has made it a major tourist destination, its main street bustling with visitors eager to capture its photogenic charm. This very popularity has led some to dismiss it as a kind of open-air museum, a Disneyland of Alsace. Indeed, its picturesque perfection is so complete that it served as a key visual inspiration for the village in Disney's animated classic, Beauty and the Beast. Yet to see Riquewihr as merely a theme park is to miss the deep, authentic, and resilient soul that lies beneath its enchanting facade. This is not a fabricated fantasy. Riquewihr is a real working wine village whose architectural treasure chest has survived the ravages of history not by accident, but through a unique combination of formidable defenses, astute political alliances, and the enduring economic power of its world-class vineyards. Its beauty is not a modern reconstruction. It is a testament to a golden age that, through a series of historical miracles, has been carried almost perfectly intact into the 21st century. The story of Riquewihr begins with a name. According to local lore, its origins lie with a Frankish landowner named Richo, who, in the early Middle Ages, established a rural estate or villa on this fertile spot. The settlement became known as Rico-Villa, the Villa of Richo, a name that would gradually evolve over the centuries into the modern Riquewihr. For its early existence, it remained a modest agricultural community, one of many nestled in the foothills of the Vosges Mountains. Its destiny, however, began to change dramatically in the 11th and 12th centuries as it came under the control of a succession of local feudal lords, the Counts of Horbourg, who recognized its strategic and economic potential. The most significant turning point in Riquewir's history, the event that would shape its unique character for the next 500 years, occurred in 1324. In that year, the last of the Horbourg counts sold their Alsatian possessions, including Riquewihr, to the powerful counts and later dukes of Württemberg, a major German princely state based in Stuttgart. This political shift had profound and lasting consequences. Riquewihr became a key possession of a powerful German dynasty, a francophone island in a German sea of influence. This connection provided a level of political and military protection that many of its neighbors, under the sway of less powerful local lords, did not enjoy. The Württemberg rulers introduced another crucial element into Riquewir's identity, the Protestant Reformation. In the mid-16th century, the Dukes of Württemberg officially adopted Lutheranism, and Riquewihr, as part of their domain, followed suit. This made the village a Protestant enclave in a region that was, and largely remains, predominantly Catholic. This religious distinction further set Riquewihr apart, shaping its culture, its alliances, and its art. The absence of opulent Catholic iconography and the presence of a more restrained Protestant church are a direct result of this history. This status, as a German Protestant possession, would prove to be a key factor in the village's miraculous survival during the most destructive conflict in the region's history. The wealth generated from Riquewir's burgeoning wine trade, combined with its strategic importance, necessitated strong defenses. The village is a masterclass in medieval and Renaissance fortification. It is enclosed not by one, but by two rings of ramparts. The first, built in 1291 under the Counts of Horbourg, surrounds the inner core of the village. As the town grew in wealth and size, this original wall became insufficient. In the early 16th century, the Dukes of Württemberg commissioned the construction of a second, more formidable outer wall. This new fortification system incorporated state-of-the-art defensive features for the time, including powerful bastions designed to withstand cannon fire. These walls were not just designed to protect the citizens from invading armies, but also to secure the town's most precious commodity, its vast stocks of wine, which were a tempting target for marauding mercenaries and bandits. The most iconic element of this defensive system is the dolder, the magnificent 13th century tower that serves as the upper town gate and belfry. Standing at 25 meters high, its name derives from the Old Alsatian word for the highest point. The dolder is a building of two distinct characters. Its town-facing side is a charming, almost fairy-tale-like structure of half-timbered construction, designed to project an image of civic pride and prosperity. Its outer, field-facing side, however, is severe and defensive, built of solid stone with few openings, designed to intimidate any potential attacker. It was both a gateway and a watchtower, its bell ready to alert the citizens to fire or an approaching enemy. Another key part of the fortifications is the Tour des Voleurs, or Thieves' Tower. This 14th century tower, part of the original ramparts, served as the town's prison. Its dark, oppressive interior, which once contained a torture chamber, provides a chilling counterpoint to the village's cheerful exterior, a reminder of the harsh realities of medieval justice. The true miracle of Riquewihr is its survival through the 30 Years' War, 1648-1648. This conflict was an unmitigated catastrophe for Alsace, a brutal and complex war that left the region utterly devastated. Armies of Swedes, French, Imperials, and mercenaries crisscrossed the land, leaving a trail of destruction, famine, and plague. Entire villages were wiped out, and the population of Alsace was reduced by more than half. Yet through this apocalyptic period, Riquewihr's architectural core remained largely unscathed. Its survival can be attributed to several factors. Its strong walls offered a credible defense, deterring smaller bands of marauders. More importantly, its political status as a possession of the Dukes of Württemberg, who often navigated a path of neutrality or strategic alliance, meant it was not always a primary target for the main warring factions. While the village suffered terribly from disease, starvation, and the immense financial burden of paying protection money to passing armies, its magnificent half-timbered houses were not put to the torch. This singular fact is the reason why Riquewihr today offers the most complete and authentic vision of what a prosperous Alsatian wine town looked like in the 16th and 17th centuries. Following the 30 Years' War, Alsace was gradually incorporated into the Kingdom of France. Riquewir's connection to Württemberg was eventually severed, and after the French Revolution it became fully integrated into the French state. Like all of Alsace, it endured the painful cycle of shifting nationalities between 1870 and 1945, being annexed by Germany after the Franco-Prussian War, returning to France after World War I, and being re-annexed by Nazi Germany during World War II, before its final liberation. This complex history has imbued the village with the resilient, dual-faceted cultural identity that is characteristic of the entire region. To walk through Riquewihr is to be completely immersed in a world of architectural wonder. The main thoroughfare, Rue du Général de Gaulle, is a breathtaking gallery of Alsatian vernacular architecture. The half-timbered houses, dating mostly from the 15th to the 18th centuries, lean against one another, their upper floors often projecting out over the street. This architectural style, known as colombage, was both practical and decorative. The timber frame provided structural support, while the infill, a mixture of clay, straw, and sand called torches, was lightweight. The exposed timbers create the distinctive geometric patterns, a defining feature of the region. The vibrant colors of the facades, according to folklore, once signified the trade of the owner: blue for woodworkers, yellow for bakers, red for ironworkers, though today the color choices are primarily aesthetic. One of the most characteristic features of these houses is the oriel window, a projecting bay window, often intricately carved, that became a major status symbol in the Renaissance. These oriels allowed more light into the main living quarters and provided a vantage point from which the wealthy owners could observe the life of the street below. Many of the houses also feature beautifully carved corner posts and decorative window frame. A particularly famous example of a grand winemaker's house is the Maison au Gratte-Ciel, the skyscraper. One of the tallest half-timbered houses in Alsace, its 5 stories towering over its neighbors, a clear statement of its original owner's wealth and success. Every house seems to have a story, its facade bearing a date, a craftsman's mark, or a carved emblem, such as a pretzel for a baker, or a cooper's tools for a barrel maker. The entire village is a pedestrian's delight. The main street, while magnificent, can be crowded. The true magic often lies in exploring the quieter side streets and alleyways, where the atmosphere is more intimate. Here, one can discover hidden courtyards, ancient wells, and beautifully preserved winemakers' houses. Their large arched doorways designed to allow carts laden with grapes to pass through into the inner court, where the pressing would take place. The wine cellars or caves of these houses are often vast, vaulted spaces that extend deep beneath the buildings, providing the cool, stable temperatures necessary for the maturation of fine wine. The very architecture of Riquewihr is a testament to its true raison d'être, the production of wine. Wine is the soul of Riquewihr. The village is situated in the heart of the Alsace Wine Route, and its reputation for quality is ancient and well-deserved. The surrounding hillsides are home to 2 of Alsace's most prestigious Grand Cru vineyards, Hrisi and Sami. The success of Riquewir's wine is attributed not only to its exceptional terroir, but also to a long-standing culture of quality. This tradition is personified in the semi-legendary figure of Hugues de Riquewihr, a 14th-century cellar master. The story goes that, dismayed by the mediocre quality of the grapes being grown, he took the radical step of pulling out all his vines and replanting his fields with a superior grape variety, believed to be an early form of Riesling. This act established a precedent, a commitment to quality over quantity that has defined the village's winemaking philosophy ever since. The Grand Cru is arguably the more famous of the 2 vineyards. Its name, Schneeschlinger, meaning beautiful hill, perfectly describes this steep, sun-drenched slope located just north of the village. Its complex soil, a mixture of gypsum, marl, and clay, is particularly suited to the Riesling grape. Schneeschlinger Rieslings are legendary for their power, complexity, and incredible longevity. They are wines that can age for decades, gradually developing complex aromas of minerals, petrol, and honey while retaining a bracing acidity. The fame of Hrisi is not a recent phenomenon. In the 18th century, the philosopher Voltaire was one of its most famous customers, owning a small parcel of the vineyard and having its wines shipped to his estate in Geneva. Adjacent to Schonenburg lies the Grand Cru Sporen. This vineyard has a different terroir, with heavier clay marl soils that are exceptionally well suited to producing rich, aromatic, and full-bodied wines. Sporen is particularly famous for its Gewürztraminer, which yields intensely perfumed wines with classic notes of lychee, rose petal, and ginger, and for its Pinot Gris, which produces opulent, smoky, and often slightly sweet wines of great character. To taste a wine from one of these Grand Crus is to taste the very essence of the Riquewihr landscape, a liquid expression of its unique soil, climate, and centuries of tradition. Riquewihr is also particularly renowned for its production of sweet, late-harvest wines. These wines, known as vendanges tardives, late harvest, and sélection de grains nobles, selection of noble grains, are made from grapes that are left on the vine long after the normal harvest. This allows them to become super concentrated in sugar and flavor. The sélection de grains nobles wines are even rarer, made from grapes that have been affected by Botrytis cinereus, or noble rot, a benevolent fungus that desiccates the grapes, leaving behind an intensely sweet and complex nectar. These luxurious honeyed dessert wines are among the most prized and expensive in all of France, and the top producers in Riquewihr, such as the famous Hrisi family, who have been making wine here since 1639, are masters of the style. It is this living, breathing culture of wine that saves Ribeauvillé from being merely a historical theme park. Despite the throngs of tourists who fill its streets, it remains, at its heart, a working village. Behind the historic facades of the magnificent houses are the cellars and tasting rooms of world-renowned wine domains. The chatter of tourists is regularly interrupted by the rumble of a tractor heading to the vineyards, or the sound of work being done in a cellar. The people who live and work here are not actors in a historical reenactment. They are the inheritors of a centuries-old tradition, dedicated to cultivating their exceptional vineyards and crafting wines of world-class quality. To experience Riquewihr fully is to embrace its paradoxes. It is to admire the fairy-tale beauty of its streets, while also visiting the Thieves' Tower to understand the harshness of its medieval past. It is to enjoy the festive, bustling atmosphere of the main street, and then to retreat into the cool, quiet solemnity of a winemaker's cellar for a tasting. It is to appreciate a village that looks like a dream, while tasting a wine that is a tangible, delicious product of the very real earth upon which it is built. Riquewir's magic lies in this delicate balance. It has preserved its physical past with almost impossible perfection, but it has done so not by freezing itself in time, but by nurturing the living tradition of viticulture that has always been and remains its vibrant, beating heart.